Well, as we mentioned this morning, there is a state of emergency in place in Orleans County right now. The legislature says hotels, motels, and landlords cannot house any migrants or asylum seekers and face a fine if they are caught. Here to talk about this legality behind it is constitutional lawyer Barry Covert. Good morning, Barry.
Good morning.
So they're calling this a housing crisis. So what are your initial thoughts after reading through the state of emergency?
It seems problematic. We have to deal with the Interstate Commerce Pact. We have the federal superiority and many laws over local municipalities and states. And one of the problems I initially see is that they're not seeking to ban from the county illegal immigrants or people who don't have status in the United States. There's no such requirement that they be here illegally. So it presumably would ban individuals who are lawfully in the United States, who then lawfully travel to their county, and local businesses contract with those individuals or with the organizations that are supporting those individuals to find them residences, whether temporary or short-term basis. There's also an odd, when you think of the logic of this, they're claiming that they don't have room for these individuals. But if someone within their county does have room for such individuals who are lawfully here, it is not permitted for that individual to rent them space or give them accommodations in exchange for money, which is perplexing. If they're claiming that they don't have room for the individuals, there wouldn't seem to be a need to tell local homeowners or business owners that they're not allowed to contract with people who come in from out of the area. So it seems to be a ban on any individuals who are lawfully in the county, but may have migrant status, but still are legally in the United States, legally in the county. There are a lot of constitutional issues here. There are a lot of laws that this would seem to violate. It seems like it's a huge overreach and would be probably unnecessary if they try to go to court and claim that there's some emergency justification. The response is going to be, well, if there are empty hotel rooms or empty bed and breakfasts, or individuals want to rent out room in their houses that are available, it is perplexing how the county can claim that there is no such room available and therefore it's illegal to rent that space out.
Now, one of the things that caught my eye is the fact that the county is saying anyone caught housing migrants could be fined up to $2,000 a day per person. How exactly could the county collect that money?
They would presumably bring a lawsuit and try to fine that individual or ticket that individual, and you have to get prior approval of the chairperson of the legislature. So apparently that person now believes that they control passage in and out of their county. It is perplexing. Then they're going to, if they find out that you rent a hotel room to me, you're okay. But if you rent that same hotel room to someone who is lawfully here as an immigrant, you violated their county law. It does not pass the sniff test. It seems a bit overreach, unnecessary. If there are rooms available in any county in the New York State or in the country, and that the individual who owns that home or hotel or bed and breakfast wants to lease it to someone or rent it to someone, to tell them that they're precluded from doing so, and we're going to fine you because that person happens to be a legally present migrant. I don't think it would survive any challenges. I don't think that the county legislature, quite frankly, thinks they would survive challenges. This is just put on the books to chill people and scare them out of renting available space to migrants under the claim that there is no such space available. If it's not available, they're not going to rent it out. So if they're renting it out and they rent it out to migrants instead of me, I don't see how that would survive any level of scrutiny.
Sure. It will be really interesting to see where this goes. That's all the time we have. Barry, thank you so much for joining us again this morning.